Are relationships exhausting? Do you believe or have you heard of the idea relationships take work? I'm going to upend that idea for you and confuse you a little bit, but make it very clear by the end of this video. Let's begin with the standard. The standard in relationships is determined by the regime it's on. In other words, the regime which is the society is built upon determines what the standard is, what is quote-unquote natural and what is quote-unquote unnatural. In other words, when you grow up in a society where the code is that you're supposed to get married and anything outside of marriage is unnatural. Or if you grow up in a regime where the moral code is you're supposed to grow up straight, you're a woman and you're a man, anything outside of that is unnatural. If you're gay, it's unnatural. Do you understand? So there's a standard in a relationship. The standard is relationships take work. So have you ever you've never considered that, you've never reconsidered that because it's a regime you're set upon. Now, let's define work. What do you think work is? What is your definition of work? Think about that for a second. Work is anything you do because you'd only do it because of the financial incentive involved. In other words, you'd only do it because you get paid for it. Now, things you do, an effort you put in to people you love doing it with, or things you love doing, doesn't feel like work. Do you know why? It's because things you love doing doesn't feel like work because it's not work. It's something you do whether or not you get paid. It's something you do regardless of the financial incentive involved or not. So, things you do for your friend, things you do to help your friend, to help your beloved, things you do for your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you love doing them because you love the person you do them with, whether or not it takes a lot of effort. It doesn't feel like work. Things you do for your passion doesn't feel like work. Things that I do for my social media doesn't feel like work. I enjoy it tremendously. So, things you love doing it, whether or not you get paid for it, therefore it's not work. Things you do within a relationship require work. Why? It's because people that get into relationships go through the relationship pretending to be the person that they imagined their partner wanted them to be. And that is incredibly important. Have you ever thought about that? People are in the relationship pretending to be the person that they imagined their partner wanted them to be. And that's the key word, imagined, without really clarifying what it is that their partner actually wants. So I want to give you why that is at the beginning. So have you heard me talk about the Marxist paradox? Because men live by this incredible paradox that they grew up in. And it's referred to, coined by the Marx brothers, the American comedian philosophers. It's called Marxist paradox, and it goes like this. I will never join a club that will have me as a member. That's the same thing as saying that I will never be friends with somebody that would have me as a friend. I would never join a club that would actually take me as a member. That's the same thing as saying I would never be in a relationship with someone who would actually have me, who would actually like me in a relationship with them. And so, men believe in this paradox, and they always pretend to be someone who's stronger, faster, smarter, bigger, grandiose than they actually are. Why? It's because they believe in the paradox that if they come forward with who they actually are, and the person takes them, there must be something wrong with them. You mean someone's going to take me for who I am without me having to pretend? Well, they're crazy. They can't accept me for who I actually am. That would be absurd. How could they? They must be what? Too easy. And so women now have to play this crazy game, because men play this game, believe in this paradox, so they have to play the men's game, and they have to also pretend to be someone who they're not. And so relieve yourself of this paradox and begin the relationship. It's not only with men, there's also with women. Relieve yourself of pretending to be someone who you imagine that person wants you to be, and live by your own rules, live by your own standards, and communicate what you'd actually like and who you actually are. And here's what I would encourage you to do, what I would advise you to do. Relationships take no work at all, take zero work, if you're with a person who you enjoy doing things with. Remember that things that you would do, regardless of whether it's paid or not, it's not work. It's something you love doing. It won't feel like work because it's not work. Second is that begin the relationship communicating, firstly, being yourself, because they will follow your lead. Especially women, they like to follow the man's lead. Or feminine individuals like to follow the masculine individual, their lead. Don't pretend someone you're not. Communicate to them. People can tell. People are incredibly empathetic. They can really tell. They're socially adept. Unless something's wrong with them. They can really tell who you are by how you communicate, by your mannerisms, your hand gestures. Which is why I love this video, because you can really tell the genuine communication that I'd like to provide you. You can really tell I'm not faking anything. That I'm the real deal. Which is why I love doing these videos. Now, they can really tell who you are by your mannerisms, and so you have to change your belief, you have to change your mind, because your mind will dictate how you behave, how your eye contact goes, how you speak, how you communicate, how you fidget your hands. They can really tell. You have to really accept who you are, be yourself, don't pretend to be someone you're not. When women say, don't pretend to be someone you're not, what they're really saying is, if you pretend to be someone you're not and I find out who you actually are, I will punish you. And so, come as you are and communicate to them that they can be completely themselves. You are completely non-judgmentally accepting, which means that you accept who they are. And please, don't pretend to be someone you're not. Ladies, if you're listening to this, communicate to the man. Please, oh please, oh please, don't pretend to be someone you're not. Don't pretend to provide something you're not prepared to, because you will only ruin the relationship if you do. And I will do my best not to pretend to be someone I'm not. I will just be myself. And when we align, if we align, fantastic. That would be the perfect relationship. If we don't, we'll remain as friends, and that's good too. Nothing wrong with that. My other call to action for you is share this video. Go to greatrelationshipsyou.com as a 12 plus hours online course on social dynamics, communication, and relationships dynamics. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.